And we're off! Welcome to the 47th episode of the Brave News channel. I am your host, Shali, and we're here with the wonderful Rizky. Say hello, Rizky.
Hello.
And we're going to bring you a bunch of exciting information for our amazing application, Brave Frontier Global, available to you guys on iOS, Android, Amazon, as well as Windows devices. Lots to get through today, so why don't we pass it off to Rizky right away so that we can get started with some exciting stuff.
All right. So I think you guys remember that in the last BNC we did preview a little bit of our summer campaign, and now we finally have the actual Brave Summer 2019 logo. As you guys can see here,
Beautiful.
Wow, it looks. That dolphin is just so cute.
I know. It's the season of the dolphin.
Yeah, and if you see, it's a familiar jellyfish from Krisa. Yeah, I think this is kind of like a fresh look or fresh take in terms of like logo design as well. So kudos to the team.
It's very, very cute. I love it. It's adorable.
Yeah. So by the time this BNC is announced, I believe most of the Brave Summer 2019 event preview will be announced as well. But this is just a recap for whoever that has not been following up yet. So next slide. We have the Unit of Choice campaign, everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
Right, we have this inclusion of brief unit summer 2018 and autumn 2018 seasonal units as well. And all of the units here, the one that is being featured here are eligible for DBB.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's a good chance for people who wants to get Sofinar or Chutong.
Yeah, or I hear also Nia and Kranis. I mean, Kranis is on the screen, but Nia is not on the visuals, but Nia is a very popular unit, very useful unit, especially in Frontier Rift. So I think this might be one of the best Unit of Choice campaigns selections that we've ever had. Right.
I think it's really because firstly, it's just right after the DBB release. So a lot of players probably like, hey, I don't have this pairing. I want to get a certain unit.
Right.
But they haven't been having luck for a while. In our DBB kind of like DBB gacha summon or rerun. So now we have this Unit of Choice campaign. Just log in for 21 days and you will get your free unit.
21 days. It's not even 30 days. That's amazing.
It's much easier.
21 days, you get like units that are not usually part of the Unit of Choice list, and they are like also applicable towards the DBB meta. So yeah, I have to say this is one of the best Unit of Choice campaigns that we've ever seen. So yay for the summer. I'm excited about this.
All right, so moving on to the next slide, we also have, of course, the Brave Summer 2019 dungeon.
Yes.
And we got a little bit of a view on how the summer tokens will look like. And of course, in this dungeon, you can also get the summer edition unit Krisa and the two exclusive gifts.
Yes.
So there are two farmable dungeons for the Brave Summer Festival. And the second one is actually a daily dungeon where players can earn additional summer tokens.
Nice.
And there will also be kind of like a special ticket. We call it a bubble ticket. That you can, basically it's like you come in daily, you will get the bubble tickets, and you can enjoy a free daily summon.
Yes.
Within this summer season.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about it, Shali?
I think I'm excited. I mean, I also heard rumors that we're going to have the Elgif from last year return as part of like the rewards, but only for those people who do not have that Elgif yet, right?
Okay.
Yeah, just to make sure that we get that out of the way. So you can't have like two of them. But if you missed your chance at getting that Elgif last year, that's called the Brave Summer Elgif, then this year you might be able to claim it for yourself because it's coming back. And I think one of the rewards that everybody will be looking forward to the most is also Krisa, which is on screen. She's absolutely beautiful, and as basically a free unit, you definitely should be wanting to get her as part of your squad, as part of your inventory. And not only we will get her through login, is that correct? At least one copy of her through login? I do believe.
Let me check. I think. Well, it's actually purchasable from the bazaar.
Right. So, but according to the little birdies that I talked to, you cannot purchase her from the bazaar until you have already claimed one Krista from login. So I'm testing you, Rizky. I'm testing your knowledge today.
I guess some details are still being finalized. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So that's from my account. What I've heard is that you won't only be able to get Krista through login, but you'll also be able to claim her from the bazaar. But in order to claim her from the bazaar, you do have to get at least one copy of Krista from the login first.
Okay.
So just know that there are those two stipulations. Again, the Brave Summer Elgif. You cannot get again if you already have a copy of that one, and then the Krista from Bazaar, you can't actually claim that one until you have claimed your first one from login. Is what the little dolphins have told me.
So you have kind of like insider information more than me.
Well, maybe I just spoke to the right people and they gave me a little something extra to help our summoners out. But I'm still very, very excited about this Brave Summer campaign, paired with the unit of choice and then the dungeons, which obviously looks like it's going to have a story attached, which is always very, very fun for our players to have, the little bit of extra lore that comes exclusively for the global version. So I'm very curious to see how it all turns out. Yeah.
It's very exciting now.
Yes.
All right. So moving on to the next content, what do we have here, Shali?
We have new Uprising units.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so Uprising units. The first one that we have here is Aesys. And this time around, the Uprising units are going to be centered more on the actual gods, like the pantheon of gods that lost their powers when the God King took over. So before it was more like, gifted people who were trying to help the poor or help the people who were struggling during the Uprising. This time is the actual gods that were struck down by the God King and how they are trying to, either get back their power or try to get their revenge against the God King. And the first one here is Aesys. And I love that her hair is actual fire. It's very kind of it reminds me of Ramza, we're talking way back, really starting time of Brave Frontier, long time ago. But she is absolutely beautiful. You can see the sorrow in her face because she lost her husband to the God King, her husband Osiris. If you are familiar with Egyptian lore, then you know that, Aesys, actually called by her real name, Isis in Egyptian lore, she's married to Osiris. And Osiris is a very, very powerful god in Egyptian culture, and Aesys was his wife, and they were actually brother sister, but let's not get into that part.
That's the thing of the past.
Yeah, the role of Aesys here is just showing how loyal and devoted of a wife she was to Osiris. In the original Egyptian lore, Osiris is killed and dismembered by his killer, and Aesys is so committed to her husband that she goes and finds every single part of him and stitches him back together, and he comes back to life. So just trying to tell you how deep her love goes. So if you're wondering why her face looks so sad, it's probably because in the Brave Frontier world is something similar to that, because the God King stroked down Osiris in the world of Brave Frontier as well. And she is, bent on getting her husband back. She wants him to be okay. And we will see that story hopefully develop a little bit more once they are released. But what do you think of Aesys here?
Well, I think the design is really magnificent. Like what you said earlier, the fiery hair is just it's just wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's just something unexpected. And she looks like a phoenix to me, rather than, I don't know, it's kind of a bird or something.
Right, which is kind of ironic because she was basically the goddess of life and nature. But after being struck down by the God King, she's kind of been left, destroyed. It's a manifestation of I guess her state of mind or her emotional state, where instead of bringing life and bringing, good things into this world, she feels like, the anger, the fury, she wants to, I guess avenge her husband or like get him back. And she's very passionate at heart, I guess, and very devoted. So absolutely beautiful unit. Love her design. Again, the art team is just knocking it out of the park. And, talking about her lore and her deep connection to Osiris, in the next slide, we have Osiris himself. And this is one of like the coolest units to come out of Brave Frontier in a while, at least me. I don't know, I'm really like drawn to like the creepy looking I don't know what is wrong with it, but I love Halloween. I love anything that's like mysterious or mythical. And here we have Osiris, one of the most powerful gods of the old pantheon and husband to Aesys. And also the god of rebirth. The reason why he was able to come back to life in Egyptian lore is because he does have that power to come back to life. So he also has the power to raise other beings back from the dead. However, because he had lost a lot of his powers thanks to what the God King had done, the God King then used his own powers to revive like the dead on his side. So it's kind of like zombie wars, I guess.
It looks a little bit like zombie.
Call it that. But obviously Osiris is very upset. He's just full of rage and anger. So I don't know how much of Aesys he remembers. So Aesys is completely devoted to Osiris, but Osiris might be too consumed in, his rage and what the God King had done to him that he might not necessarily be himself right now. But what do you think of him as a unit, Rizky?
I think just by listening to your story earlier, this unit has been, it is already very interesting to me, especially like when you mentioned that he has this kind of like vibe of undead.
Yeah,
you can see from the skin color and the way his aura and everything. And I got a feeling that I got a bit of like impression that he is quite similar to Xie. Do you remember our Valentine, one of the Valentine villains in it? Yeah, it's got a similar vibes that the upper half of the body is human, but the lower bottom is like a
a horrifying scorpion, basically.
Monsters, scorpions. Yeah. This design is very interesting. I would really like to see how the animation would be.
Yes, for sure. Again, we don't see units like this very often, and that's why I get very excited when it's something new like this. Because of course it's fun to have like another like waifu or another husbando, but it's nice to change it up once in a while and make something just like
monsters.
Not monstrous, but like I don't know, just a little bit weird. Like I just like weird stuff, I guess. I don't know, because I'm weird myself. So, but yes, Osiris, very characteristic by his power over the undead, and also his blue-green toned skin, representing that he was raised back from the dead, and he once was dead himself. But very interesting to see how his lore actually works in Brave Frontier when he's based on the actual god Osiris of the Egyptian pantheon way long ago. But I love it. I love it when we gather inspiration from cultures around the world, because it is Brave Frontier Global, and we're here to serve the whole planet Earth. It's very very fun to see actual inspiration from cultures being put into the game like this. It's very cool.
All right,
let's move on to the next piece of content here.
Okay, so the next piece of content, we have the Frontier Rift Guild event rerun, which is Joy to Ashes. So again, you can have, basically, you have to prepare your squad against the deadly demigod Vigor. And as usual, join the guild together and contribute to the high scores to earn Rift Memento tokens. So for those who have not yet acquired Grant, this is the chance for you guys to get him and his spear as well. Yeah, so have you gotten?
Oh yeah, I have Grant, and I have his spear too. Yeah, I'm very lucky.
That's nice,
He's one of my highest attack units, and I don't know if I should be saying this, but like I have him on the first slot of arena with his sphere. And because he can multi-hit everyone, like everyone on the other squad dies on like just the first hit. So I win arena every single time, basically.
Okay.
Cheats. I mean it's not cheats. That's how it functions. Well, so I'm just letting you know, you might benefit from the strategy yourself if you're behind an arena and you're trying to catch up like myself. So.
The interesting thing is that this unit is actually kind of like a reward unit, so it's kind of like pay. It's a kind of like a reward for you for your effort to actually like acquire him earlier.
Exactly, and very good unit too, and a very good, very powerful sphere. I think the attack boost on that sphere is like 150%, if I'm remembering correctly, which is absolutely insane. Like that's just, yeah, it's great. It's great. So don't miss out on this rerun. Get Grant if you haven't already. Definitely try to get that sphere if you haven't already. Totally worth it. Take it from me.
All right. So we also have the next piece of content, which is, of course, our Vortex Arena Season 4, the Terrestrial Showdown. So here we are having the new exclusive reward, which is the Windstorm Ox Head for the rank 1 to 1,500. And for 1,501 to 6,000, we will get Ox Langur. Ox Langur. And we also have the previous Vortex Arena reward as well, the Oath of Strength.
Yes.
Yeah. So coming with the Vortex Arena, the Earth Vortex Arena, there will be like a new character as well. And looking from the sphere itself, I guess we can tell what characters it is.
Yes, that's right. We have the ox coming up from the Chinese zodiac, and I love the spheres. I love that one of the spheres is actually like it has steam coming out of its nose, like a bull from like a cartoon or something. It's really cute. But the ox this time is going to be Ulagan. And Ulagan, he gives me all of the Jason Momoa vibes, you know. Like if you're a fan of certain TV shows that shall not be named but that are amazing, then you might feel like he looks a little bit familiar. But he represents the ox, and then the ox is obviously a very, very powerful animal, and Ulagan is also a very, very powerful man. However, Ulagan doesn't really have like aggression within him. He doesn't like necessarily going out and looking for a fight. He would just rather kind of be carefree and maybe even a little bit lazy and just kind of chill. So it's more about, yes, he can be very useful to Emperor Yu because of his strength, because he can basically take out almost anyone. However, how do you spark that fight within, you know, if you're just kind of like not into that stuff? So it's a little bit of a juxtaposition of having this power but not really wanting to use it for anything. So it's very interesting. I think we haven't seen a character like this before, maybe like ever, maybe like once in Brave Frontier. Usually our husbandos are very, you know, kind of like fit and skinny and kind of short, but Ulagan is like, you know, really robust. He's got that like
warriors,
that mass, you know. Yeah. He works out. He definitely hits the gym when he's not playing his instrument there. But I think he looks absolutely amazing. I love the helmet with the two feathers going back. I think that is so incredibly like exquisite and fancy. But what do you think, Rizky, of Ulagan?
I think the most interesting piece here is his instrument as a weapon. I don't know how he's going to use it. I mean, he could just like punch and like destroy the enemy by his own hands or body. But I don't know how he's going to use this instrument. It's really interesting.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I don't know that he attacks with it. I mean, you wouldn't want to break it, right?
Break it. Yeah, that's.
Or maybe he plays it and then like the notes
something happened.
blow people away. Like I don't know. That's gonna be very interesting to see how he handles that thing while he's on the battlefield. But should be fun, I guess.
Well, I guess kudos to the art team again.
Yes,
The
again,
works.
all these refreshing ideas, all these creative ideas. I love seeing units that I've never seen before, or that are very like rare in the game. I know that sometimes people get more excited about certain types of units, like the lollies and like all this other stuff. But let's throw in some variety in there and see something new and exciting to keep things fresh. It's really cool.
Right. Yeah.
And speaking of new and fresh, we do have some units that are coming for the fall, for Autumn of Brave Frontier this year, and we're going to start with Feòra. Feòra is like a squirrel girl.
Yeah, that tail, you can't just hide it.
It's so adorable, but at the same time, if you look at what she's wearing, she doesn't seem like the most adorable personality, right? Feòra is actually a problem child. She is a descendant of the Druids, and as such, she has a lot of power. And she doesn't consider herself aggressive, but she's definitely always in a short temper. Like she just doesn't have time for anything. She takes very little smack, and she's just always trying to get things done. So it's very, I guess, unlike a squirrel, because squirrels are adorable and they're just kind of a little bit hyper, and they're wide-eyed and all of that cuteness. But she's just no, I don't have time for this. So, very interesting development of character. She also feels like there's something a little bit missing inside, but she doesn't know exactly what that is. So I think the main point of Feòra's journey is going to be finding out what exactly it is that is missing. But yeah, what do you think, Risky?
Well, to me, she looks like a teenager, like a rebel teenager or something.
Yeah.
Those kind of ages when we try to find our meaning or the meaning of ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah, she ran away from home or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'll show my parents, they don't understand me, and then listen to all the emo music in the background. Yeah, I think that's exactly what Feòra is going through, and she is quite young. I think she's her teenage years. I wouldn't put her past 18 or 19, I think. And I'll show you why in just a second, because Feòra is not the only druid that lives in this particular forest. We also have Hyshka.
Oh.
Now, again, with the creativity, it's just astounding to me what the art team is coming up with nowadays, of really trying to explore all sorts of different backgrounds and themes. And this is what a full-fledged druid would look like, and Hyshka is more of a little bit old school when compared to Feòra. Hyshka is actually in line to become the leader of his druid tribe. And his main responsibility is basically, his people are dying, and they're being kind of ran out from the forest. They're being pushed back by, civilization and all these things. And Hyshka's responsibility is to make sure that his culture, that his people survive. And as the new leader in training, he is taking on a lot of responsibility by himself.
I see.
And amidst all of that, internal struggle, he comes across Feòra, who doesn't really seem to have a path of her own. And as a leader, I think he just kind of steps in and tries to help her find what it is that she's looking for, even though they may not necessarily know what that is. But the funny thing here is that Hyshka is kind of very he's kind of like an old soul. So he's very you have to take things calmly. And Feòra's shut up, So it's that kind of comedic interaction where one of them is super mature and the other one is just a kid, and all kinds of craziness ensues. So I'm really looking forward to see a little bit more of an actual interaction between the two and how they get along. It's going to be fun, I think. But what do you think of Hyshka?
It seems like an early Valentine to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're romantically inclined.
Yeah.
I think it's more a student-teacher kind of thing, but
I don't.
Still fun. Still fun to imagine how it is that they're going to interact with each other, for sure.
But I like the design, as in he's not really a, I don't know, it looks like he's kind of like a lizard, a mix between lizard and something else.
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah.
His cape looks like he's also a butterfly. You know, like he's a druid, so he's not supposed to be necessarily anything. But he's definitely a being of nature, and you can see so many things from nature attached to him. Like his hair is like autumn leaves, which is friggin' amazing, right? He has scales. He has claws, but he also has fingers. So there's just a very interesting amalgamation of like humanistic qualities and natural qualities that are just kind of like blended all to make like one creature, which would be the druid Hyshka. So I don't know. It's very exciting to me to just see like what sprouts out of like our artist's imagination, because it makes me want for more. Like all of these are great, and I love them. Absolutely love them. All right, and then the last thing that we have coming up for autumn as well is Autumn Festival alternate art. Again, we're only giving you guys the silhouette so as not to, spoil the surprise, I guess, for when we do come out with the event for the fall. I have to tell you, I don't even remember if I actually saw who this is.
Yeah.
I don't recall. I'm trying really hard to like search in my brain, and I can't guess it from the silhouette alone. I feel like I saw the alternate art, and every alternate art that we've done so far has been amazing. So obviously this one's going to be amazing as well. But I'm also kind of like blanking out as to who this could be. So make sure that you leave your guesses, in the comments below. Who do you think this alternate art is going to be for? Risky, do you remember? Or do you know?
I think just looking at the headgear, I kind of like be able to tell who is this. But the interesting part is on the lower half. Like I couldn't really see what is there actually.
It looks like a desk. To me.
Or something, I don't know.
Somebody's just like working away at a desk or something. I don't know why, but that's what my brain took me to. But excited for this. Excited to see it come out, because I guess it's going to be a surprise for me unless I manage to find out who this is before the festival art is made available. Hopefully you guys are excited. And I think that's it for the updates today, but stick around because the Summoner's Corner is up next. All right, welcome to the Summoner's Corner, where you guys ask all the questions and Risky answers. You don't have to answer anything. I'm sorry. I don't know why I just like messed that up, but anyway, let's get some questions going so that Risky can answer them here. The first one is by Enrico Hutahean. I hope I said that correctly. Enrico is wondering if there's going to be any updates for the old Uprising units, like Neferet, for example, since they were very like good way back when. But can we make them still usable in the current meta for like the new G Grand Quest or Frontier Rift, and even maybe some lore attached to that?
Okay, so regarding this, I mean, as you guys noticed that there is there are like pieces of contents about Uprising in the earlier part of this video, where we explained to you guys there are like new characters coming and story, expanding. So this is one of the team's direction, which is to try to expand Uprising story, because I think it's one of the most favorite and one of the most requested by the players as well. So I couldn't really promise any update at the moment, because we know that those units are, even at the point of time, is still quite powerful. However, you might want to maybe look forward for their possibility of getting DBB update someday in the future, I guess.
Nice.
Because I mean, as you guys can see, DBB usually like will try to like revisit older unit and then see whether they are like potential for an update, DBB update, especially to fill in the gaps for element combination that are not doesn't exist yet. So maybe you can look forward for that kind of update.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. And like we said today, we do have new content coming for the Uprising, where in new unit form. So at least there's that to look forward to until we can maybe revisit this in the future, right? Cool. So the second one is by James Miolli, and James has a concern that I also share. I will explain just a second. So James is a very well-leveled player, and he can beat most rifts like very easily. without much struggle. But the other members in his guild, they don't really have the same like ability to build the rift, beat the rift as easily. So because a lot of the guild Frontier Rift rewards are guild-based, it requires everybody's cooperation. So if he's the only one beating the rift, well, everybody else is stuck, you know, on dungeon level 2 or dungeon level 3, then it doesn't amount to much as far as like a reward. And some people feel pressured to leave like a guild because they don't feel like they're contributing enough or anything like that, when it shouldn't be, you know, that you're making a guild just so that you can have enough points to get this character. It should be having a guild where you guys can all interact together as a group. And I am the person who is holding the guild back. I am the person who always gets to like, you know, level 3 of the dungeon or level 4 of the dungeon, and no matter what I do, I just get stuck and I can never beat it all the way through. So I very much understand what James is trying to say here, and he's just wondering if there's any way to like help with this situation.
Well, this is not so much on helping, I guess. It's how, I don't know, guild works. You know, like you can't really expect that everyone will be good at the start, but I guess it's a part of the learning on the guild. Like for example, maybe when you start the guild, most of your members are not that capable, but you can share idea or share strategy on how to fight or how to beat a certain level or certain dungeon. And on top of that, I guess there's a purpose of why we are rerunning the Frontier Rift as well, because maybe on the first time the Frontier Rift was run, you are not strong enough to be able to like defeat it. But as the times goes by, there are like some chance for you to acquire it on a powerful unit, like for example, this kind of like UOC campaign, our unit of choice campaign. And you can try to attempt those rift again in the future. So yeah, I think it's quite refreshing that I hear this. It's not so much of a complaint, but it's kind of like he's caring for his guild member.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what the only tips I can say is that like just keep trying and keep improving in terms of like your squad, your strategy on fighting the unit, and it's not just about the unit, but you also need to like get all the powerful spheres as well. So I think helping each other in guild will be able to like finally you can help your guild member to reach a certain level as you as well.
Okay. Yeah. So you would recommend just more interaction within the guild itself to try to get those members who are lagging a little bit behind to kind of progress a little bit farther and farther. Yeah.
And don't worry too much about the rift, because I mean we always have a rerun coming back so for those rifts. So there is always a chance for you guys to try again, like try in the next attempt.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And then the last one here by Sorian/Sori Riser. Sorian is wondering if any reward units are going to come back, for example, like Hitsu or Illusion and Illumina, that have kind of like a lower side cost because they're really good for the Gladiator Coliseum content. The new units that have been coming out, the cost is like a little bit too high, and so it doesn't work out as well. And Sorian is wondering if we're going to have any more units geared towards that Gladiator Coliseum.
Okay, that is an interesting point. Sorry. I guess for this kind of unit, you would expect them to come back. For example, Kitsu is a Christmas or like a holiday season unit. So you will expect for him to come back somewhere near the end of the year. And for Illusion and Illumina, it's kind of like our one-time unit release. But definitely, if we have some kind of like a special, celebration or something, we could consider releasing it again. So I guess for most of our free or reward units are usually tied to event or seasonal celebration. There's definitely a chance for them to come back again.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
so like just come back for the next Christmas celebration or the next holiday season.
Okay. And then maybe keeping in mind like cost for any future reward units and try to see if there's anything that can be done on that area as well.
I mean, I guess it seems that for now we have a differentiation between the reward unit and a summon unit. So those reward unit will stay in a cost that a little bit lower than the summon unit because of how they are designed. But yeah, I think as you guys can see, like even the autumn event itself and the summer event, we always come out with either the new reward unit alongside the summon unit. So yeah, there's always a lot of a way for you guys to get those kind of low cost units.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well that does it for
Right.
us today. Thank you so much for answering all those questions, Risky. And you guys make sure to leave your questions. Why do I keep saying answers? Leave your questions. Leave your questions down in the comments below so that we can pick them up for next time. And then we can hopefully answer them for you. My brain is just stuck on that and I don't know why. But it's probably because you guys are very, very wise. And the best things that I learned from this game are actually from other summoners, especially the people in my guild who try to be very patient with me and try to teach me the ways. And I have seen that progress communicating with them and taking in their advice. I'm not in the same level just yet, but I've gotten better. I've gotten better. So thank you to all of the summoners out there who just keep studying the game, who keep trying to just be masters of Brave Frontier. And we will see you guys on the next video. Bye.
Bye-bye.